The goal of the three super educations, which constitute the Dharma in actual practice, is nothing less than enlightenment itself. One is well educated when one is enlightened, experientially in touch with the reality of self and the world. Wouldn't that be amazing if when we had our graduation ceremonies at Columbia, Harvard, and Yale, University of California, University of Michigan, wherever it was, Virginia, we could say to our students, now you are enlightened, meaning now you are realistic, not living in denial, now you are decent, really decent, not harmful to others automatically and empathetically, feeling concern for their state of being and how your action affects it, and really in control of your own mind and your impulses and your reactivity. So you can restrain any kind of negative states of mind yourself without running to buy a Prozac. Wouldn't that be great? And it's not, and according to Buddha, that's possible. The revolutionary discovery of the Buddha was not some religious, I'm going to save you routine. It was that the human being can understand the world fully. They shouldn't accept, oh yeah, I mean, when scientists say you can't understand, there is no such thing as an enlightened being in the sense of a Buddha, because no one understands them, will never understand anything, everything. Because of their quantity, they're in the prison of quantifiability, of materialism. When they say that, how dare they say that? Because if they don't understand the world, how do they know that you can't understand the world? They don't. It's just simply not the case. So Buddha's thing was, a human being can because he did. He might have been deluded, certainly. But, we should at least try it out and see if it maybe works, to some extent at least, with ourselves. And that world is known and experienced as fully free from suffering. So that there's a way of being, when you fully understand the world, that it does not make you suffer. You are free of that. And that you even feel blissful, no matter what. And that one sooner or later has to and will understand that in order to find happiness and share it with others. That is what it is. And that doesn't mean become a Buddhist, because you can't do it just by believing that, which would be how you become, you convert to something or another. That's why His Holiness Dalai Lama is always very clear, I don't want to convert anybody. When I give a talk about Buddhism or something in some non-Buddhist country, I want everybody to stay with their grandmother's religion to put them at ease about something about you got to be a member of something. I want them to use whatever I have to say, maybe from the educational tradition. He won't necessarily say that because that might confuse someone who's thinking of it as a religion. He say, I want them to use whatever I say to learn something about themselves so they can, in fact, improve the quality of their lives as a Jew or a Christian or a secularist or a Muslim or a Hindu or a Confucian or whatever they are. That is what I want. I would like the Christians not to try to convert us or to convert each other. That's because that will lead to interreligious conflict in this modern time, and that is dangerous. So what we are doing is we are just trying to interact with systems of education in other societies, that's all. So that people will be more in charge of their lives. And to whatever degree they learn something, how to manage their ethics, how to manage their mind, and how to manage their view of the nature of the world, they will have a better life. And they'll be nicer to us, actually, as well. The saying of our culture, ignorance is bliss, implies that knowledge of reality would be too depressing. It doesn't work anyway. When you get a speeding ticket and say, I didn't know, officer, it doesn't necessarily help. You still get the ticket. In the Buddha's teaching, ignorance is not only not bliss, it is the source of suffering. And the wisdom of truly knowing reality is the source of bliss for self and other. Now, in the next session, we will turn to the nonviolent but revolutionary movement, what I call the cool revolutionary movement, not the hot revolutionary movement, that became the Buddhist community over many countries and centuries. Originally in India, there were many countries. So it spread in India, was in many different countries and cultures, even with different languages. And simply referred to as and that community is referred to in the 3rd century before the Common Era by the Emperor Ashoka, who was 2 generations after his grandfather who defeated Alexander the Great, to place him in sort of Western history. And he simply refers to the Buddhist community as the Sangha, that is to say, the community. He never uses the adjective Buddhist because he knew it wasn't needed, because everyone in India, in his empire, knew that the monastic-based community was so well known. They are the followers of the Enlightened One. And so it's just the community in that case. And we'll look at that and how that spread and developed, first in India and then around the world, in the next section.